Hey, brothers and sisters, what's up? This is the Reluctant Nabi back again. And I want y'all to pay attention to this. And I put these videos up, the ones dealing with politics and world governments and history. I put them up understanding that, well, I'm talking primarily to Afro people. And these videos are not going to be shared as much as, say, a video on Jay-Z or a video on what's happening with Snoop Deputy Dog or Kanye West. All right. And the only time people want to hear something political is when they want to confront and dispel anything Kanye West has to say because he likes this guy right here. All right. But let me tell you something. Most Afro people that have character are usually conservative. Whether they vote Democrat or Republican, they are conservative minded. They used to believe in anything that supported the community, and they used to not want any not they used to not cater to anything that used to be dangerous for the community. You know, certain social groups, like the alphabet group, that's detrimental to our community. All right, that's good for the other people, but not for us. Right? And that's how we used to be. All right. And then after we were sold out by the BAW, we were led down a dark road, a road to almost utter destruction, where the men and children were seen as nothing but a check, if not by the media, if not by the government, but by the BAWs themselves. All right. And now that the brothers started reading scripture, started reading a little bit of our history. And the only brothers I can't even call them brothers. The only simps that are getting it wrong are the ones that's still trying to find some African queen who was a leader and not a 304 for the Portuguese, the Dutch, or any other Caucasian European group. And you ain't going to find it. Cleopatra, the three-way triangle, where everybody's running ways on her. Come on now. All right. So, why do I put this up? Because a lot of Afro people are starting to leave the plantation. And all these shutdowns on Facebook, Google, and YouTube are specifically targeted at Afro peoples. And the Caucasian conservatives are the collateral damage. I want y'all to understand this. They have to take them down to take us down because many of us have left the plantation as a result of having respect for this dude right here. Not that we think he's a saint. Matter of fact, we figure like he's from New York and built buildings there. Well, what do you need to do to build a skyscraper in New York? Oh, yeah, you can't be a saint. But as far as a businessman, and remember, he was a Democrat before he was a Republican. He was hobnobbing with all the hip hop people. And then I'm going to show you the credibility of anybody, any of the old school people that's in hip hop that had Trump in their songs and that was hobnobbing with Trump. How they do not think as free men anymore or as men, period. They are so controlled by the dollar and their image in Hollywood that they want everybody to forget that they used to sing about kicking it with Trump and all the rest of this stuff. He was friends with luminaries like Mr. Jackson, L. Charlton. L. Charlotte. Charlotte. Yeah. Sharpton. There we go. I had a hard time getting that out. That's a message. Jesse. The one that can't say ill. All right. So what's going on? All right. What's going on? What is garnering him more respect? This is it. Facebook, YouTube, Google, Twitter are all trying to take down free speech. In other words, they're pushing an agenda and only an agenda that they approve of. That's slavery, at least on the internet. All right. And he sent in a no uncertain terms tweet to the people at Facebook. And let's get into it. But I want y'all to stick with me to the end on this one, because there's another sadder fact here. Now, I want y'all to keep this in mind. Remember the Soviet Union, how they came about. As I was going through school, they taught us civics and stuff, USA civics and stuff like that. All right. They taught us that we need to beware of the Soviet Union because, you know, they're the boogeyman. All right. Our government is better than theirs because it's capitalism and theirs is communism. We didn't even know what real capitalism was and communism was on paper. They both seem like a good idea on paper. The problem is with government's people. Well, so understand this. I'm going to say this real quick. How it became the Soviet Union from Russia, it became the Soviet Union under Lenin, you know, the revolts and stuff like that. So he established Leningrad and brought in communism, which means that everybody shares the wealth. Short and to the point, that's what communism means. Communal. Everybody shares kind of equally. Communal. All right. We were taught to make that a bad thing. But that's what welfare is. We'll get to that in a minute too. That's what food stamps is. We'll get to that in a minute. Right? And there's nothing wrong with that to a point. Capitalism. Sell everything you have at the highest price while paying people the lowest you could pay them to make said thing. If you can make the people work for nothing and you can sell yourself stuff for a ridiculous high amount of price, well, that's capitalism. And that's a good businessman. But okay, that's kind of wicked and evil. All right. So now that we've established that, let's look at what Facebook and them are doing. All right. But first, hey, y'all know what to do. Thumbs up. Remember, keep them thumbs up. And like, share, subscribe. When you subscribe, click the notification bell. My donation links will be in the description box. And pay attention to see the PragerU video all the way through, because that will be in the description box. Oh, there's a doozy coming up after this. All right. Let's roll. Okay, now let's get into this. All right. This was a quote from Trump. And what happened is that Facebook starts shutting down a bunch of conservative-minded people. And quite frankly, some really, really harmless, comedic, conservative-minded people, simply because they like Trump. And these are people that are trying to, interfere with the elections. The very thing that the Democrats are complaining about, they're using the power of the media to interfere with people's choices in the media by not giving them one. Do you know what made the Soviet Union communism so bad? Is that you had to revoke, you had to vote for the Communist Party, and you did not have a choice. Period. You voted for the Communist Party. You did not have a choice. All right. The Democrats are trying to do the same thing, and instead of the Gestapo, the Facebook and the leaders of Facebook, the leaders of YouTube, the leaders of Google, the leaders of Twitter have become the new Gestapo, only they're doing it electronically. Because what's going on is this: as YouTube starts to unfairly shut down the voices of people, because they have, not because they're doing anything bad, actually they're trying to promote something good, but Facebook who is being run by the alphabet people, who has a lot of money and influence. So this is no longer about money, because if it was about money, it would be an even playing field. But what do we know about people that are really prejudiced? They don't care about money once they have enough to build an agenda and force people to follow their will. That's what's going on. That's what Google and Facebook is trying to do, because people learned the truth about Hillary through all of these means. And that's why she lost. People are learning the truth about a lot of these politicians. And so Facebook and YouTube are now trying to demonetize them. Like the Democrat that Mrs. Hill, the Democrat that had to step down because of her escapades. Somebody at YouTube demonetized that, even though that's a major story about a public official. But you can't say anything about the Democrats. But if you are conservative minded, you can't say anything at all. That's what they're saying. So Trump put this little tweet. We have a little thing called free speech, and this is why people are starting to like this dude, because what Facebook and Google is doing is they're doing not only harm to conservative people, but they're doing harm to independent minded people too, that want to hear what everyone has to say. All right. And they're catering to the most ignorant of people that's raised by these single BAWs. We'll get into that in a moment. Stick with me to the end. Oh, I got a surprise for you. Okay? And it won't be a surprise, but it'll show you how ridiculous and how foolishly these BAWs have raised these children. And now I even see the argument why people would have a problem with certain people voting, because they're voting based on the feelings of their mom instead of any real knowledge. There was a little kind of study done by PragerU to see where people would place Trump in a university. They are at a university. They are at a university. So you would have to wonder who taught these people in high school, middle school. All right. But Trump says we have a little thing called free speech in this country. That means that nobody is allowed to censor the thoughts and words of Americans. Well, Facebook, Google, YouTube, and the people that work there would take issue at that. They think they're allowed to censor anybody. We can say what we want anywhere, anytime about anything we damn well please. This is Trump. Well, that's how he speaks. Social media is in clear violation of the law, and I am here to say to those little runts, Zuckerberg and the Twitter guy, I'm watching, and I promise you, I will shut you down. In the meantime, I ask all America to boycott these platforms. Show them we matter. Wait a minute. He said, show them we matter, not show them you matter. Now, here's the thing. They're not blocking him. They're not blocking the president on Twitter, because that would be just really bad for Twitter. They're not blocking him, but he's identifying as one of the people. All right, in a real way, in words that we are now using for Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. All right. These people are using tools at their hands to block people from anything, even to promote a movie that's going to be an outright lie. Oh, by the way, that United Music Group, they took away their blocking of my video I did, where they said There was nothing wrong. It wasn't no cursing and stuff. So in order to block people until the opening, block me until the opening, what they said was that there was copywritten material in there. In other words, they tried to copyright my voice. But that was a way to block this stuff. See, this is what these businesses are doing. This is what Facebook is allowing. And this should be illegal. It probably is. But they get away with it because they're Facebook, Google, YouTube. Now, this is what they've been doing. They've been going and blocking everybody that supports Donald Trump. And so they were doing it on YouTube. So what happened is people start broadcasting and putting their stuff on Facebook. And then what happened is Facebook, in conjunction with YouTube and Google, start blocking conservative. And then Twitter got in on it. So you got the media, the social media, and the online groups actually blocking half of America from having a voice, especially the Afro people, because we're the ones leaving the plantation, not the Caucasians. There's always been this ebb and flow with the Caucasians, Democrat to Republicans. The people that they're angry that are leaving are the Afro people. All right. So, proof of that, they went after these women. Diamond and Silk. They went after them because YouTube went after them. And they classified Diamond and Silk as unsafe. Have y'all seen them their things? You think their republicanism is a joke at best. Because nobody really takes them really serious. These are the most ridiculously marked unsafe people. Unsafe to the community. Facebook, Zuckerberg's Facebook, classified Diamond and Silk as unsafe to the community. But they only now they then decide to reconsider classifying them in that way after the duo went on Fox News morning show and asked why the social media giant later labeled them unsafe. I would like to know that question. Come on, Diamond and Silk. Really? Diamond and Silk. Really? Okay, that's almost as foolish as this next bit bunch of junk you're about to see. They're going after all the little guys. They're going after the big guys. They're going after the little guys. All right. They understand that the Democrats have no platform, they have nothing. Everybody is starting to see them as just purely wicked, and those that follow them as purely wicked. However true or not that is to their followers, to the people that are in the party that run it, they've proven that that's who they are. Right? And so in order to combat that, they're going after every little guy. But I want to show you something that's worth. The thing that makes this really bad is what the media was able to do to the minds of the youth by lying to them so much, by trashing the character of a human being so much, that you got ignorant black folks that think Trump is literally worse than Hitler and Stalin. Y'all, I'm serious. This is PragerU. Will Witt. We'll get into this in a minute. But first, I would like to give you a little background. The Soviet Union, as I said in the beginning, started by Lenin. It was Russia. Then, all the countries banded together like Great Britain. Then you had the Soviet Union. CCCP was one of the names that they were known as. USSR was the other, Union of Soviet Socialist Republic. All right. So basically, what happened is after Lenin died, Stalin came into power. Now, what's big about Stalin is that Stalin was in power when we needed Russia because of World War II and Hitler. So yeah, Stalin and Hitler was just on the planet at the same time. And Trump is worse than them, according to some people, right? And even this guy was surprised, right? So after Stalin, I can't remember if it was Nikita Khrushchev or it might be Nikita Brezhnev, but I know Khrushchev, then it was Brezhnev, then it was Gorbachev, then it was Boris Yeltsin, and then my favorite, Mr. Shirtless Man. Riding the horse. Mr. Big Bag Black Belt Karate Shirtless Man. I'm going to just say that because I've been watching too much Saturday Night Live on YouTube, and their portrayal of him is just really on spot, right? Oh, so this is the newest one, right? When I say Shirtless Man, who am I talking about as the leader of now Russia? Since they are no longer the Soviet Union, but they are still a loose pack. Okay, so who leads them? Now, with that said, when Gorbachev was in with the little dot on his head, we still don't know what that was. I was stationed in Germany when that was my first duty station. I was stationed in Germany when they were tearing down the wall, and I got pieces of it and I sent it home to my aunt who died. All right. I wonder what that would be worth now. I had the pieces that actually had the paint on it, the graffiti. All right. But I want y'all to pay attention to this. This is sick. This is really, really sick.
What's up, guys? This is Will Witt with PragerU. Today we're at California State University, Northridge, again, and we are asking people to rank figures throughout history from worst to best.
All right, simple enough. They're at California State. So one would have to ask, how in the hell these people made it through high school?
Do it. So the game is, we have 5 people here, different cards, with 5 different people on them. I want you to rank them from who you think is the best to who you think is the worst.
Yeah, Obama.
Can you even name these 5 people?
Who's this?
Yeah, I don't know who this is.
That's Joseph Stalin. He was a communist leader, killed millions of people.
Okay.
Got it.
Now, I'm going to say this. When I was coming up in high school, we knew who these people were. Stalin, World War II. He was the leader of the Soviet Union during World War II. When Hitler went into the Soviet Union, that was the biggest battles in World War II. These people don't know anything about World War II. They might know we won.
Best over there.
Worst, okay.
Worst.
This is the group I'm talking about. Pay attention to the ignorance and then think back to their mama black that raised them to be just downright not only stupid, not only ignorant, but have no sense of morality at all. That their feelings about somebody makes them immoral is because they are judging a man, making him worse than the worst, simply because their feelings. That means they lack morality. They don't have it. These children don't have, these people going to college right now, these people on the left do not have morality. First of all, they don't have no knowledge of who these people are, meaning they didn't learn about World War II in history class, in high school, elementary school, at home, anywhere. I want y'all to pay attention.
This is Jesus.
But it's Obama, black president. I guess.
That's Hitler.
Hold on. I want you to understand this. I want you to pay attention to this. The brother, well, he ain't a brother. I don't know what he is, because what they're about to do. He put Obama above the white picture of the fake or the inmate model. That's not nobody holy. That was an inmate in prison that was painted by Da Vinci, a lover of another man. So that's who. Hold on. So look at this. As the male, because he ain't no man. As the male put Obama first, the female said, no, you don't put an Afro man before the Caucasian Jesus. And because he was raised probably by a single mom, because we know he wasn't raised by no dad, because a dad, he would have stood on his convictions. But even these weak men are not teaching conviction. And so he switches it because of what she says. You don't put nobody before her God. It wasn't his God. It's that Jesus is her God. This is why the BAW is not suitable to be a wife to any righteous living man.
Which one's Hitler? This Hitler?
Uh-huh.
Who's this?
That's Stalin. You know who Stalin is?
Mm-mm.
Okay, fair enough. Would you like to explain?
Hold on. So he don't know who Stalin is, which means he knows nothing about World War II. All right. And they put Trump, after he explains who Stalin is, they put Trump behind Hitler and Stalin. Now look at their reasoning as for these choices.
In any of your choices?
Barack Obama. I mean, that's black president. You know, black power.
What was your favorite thing about Obama?
Being black and being president. Like that's a big accomplishment.
All right. So he was taught. All right, because he has no other role model to look up to. Because look, he's following a woman who wants him to worship the Caucasian fake Jeebus.
Trump is worse than Hitler?
Yes.
Yeah,
Could be.
definitely.
Yeah. Why do you say that?
He's childish.
Yeah.
It's like
So the guy that they were taught to be disgusted at, to not like, to despise, is worse than a murderer because he's childish. A murderer who murdered a bunch of people, not just 6 million Jews. A bunch of people. But that's all that matters to Caucasian is the 6 million Jews. But we'll take that because that's still worse than anything Trump has ever done. Well, Trump ain't even come close to doing, Lord have mercy, Obama has done worse than Trump.
Stop. He's trying to stop, like food stamps. People need those.
So he tried to stop food stamps. So that's why. So now we know that they are the product of the single black mother who, instead of wanting to base things on a husband and working together with good men, wanted to have them from Pookies and Ray Rays and send them and keep them into the system. And when this man took away food stamps that they didn't work for and they were using merely just to keep on the system and have more Pookies and Ray Rays instead of using them as a way to get off the system. No, because men don't get him like that. No, that's the end. That makes him worse than everybody.
I think that ending food stamps is as bad as killing like 6 million Jews.
Think about it. Think about the morality. She's thinking about it. She has to think about it. That's how sad.
He did that?
Yeah. He killed Jews. He's trying to just destroy the planet.
And built that wall, yeah.
Yeah.
Built that wall, yeah.
Oh my God, the first one. Can you believe that? The first one. The first people come up and talk to us think that Trump is literally worse than Hitler.
That's unbelievable. That display right there, not only unbelievable, but it is the legacy of the so-called black Queen, not Queen.